Web application basics.
So pretty easy stuff coming upon. So we are going to have around about 3 modules related to our web applications. Okay,
Mhm.
and all these 3 modules are still going to feel like insufficient knowledge, or still they would not be able to give you whole web application penetration testing idea. Okay, so that's why we have got this dedicated course on this topic. It's a whole 1 month course available on web applications penetration testing.
Mhm.
But in these 3 modules, I'll try to cover the overview of all of whole course of web application pen testing. Okay, so what are the basic technologies or techniques, whatever is required or whatever is relevant here. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll start with the basic web application architecture and the components of web application. So what's a domain name? So these are some terms that you need to be aware of before diving into the web applications. Okay, penetration testing.
Uh-huh.
So what is a domain name? A domain name is nothing but the name that is that you use, the website name that you
Instead of
use,
IP address.
yeah, instead of IP address, because humans are able to remember the names much more easily than as
Yeah.
compared to the numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, it's physically or mentally not possible for you to memorize all those uh, uh, IP addresses related to the websites that you visit on daily purposes. A very good example for this thing is how you store phone numbers of your knowns or acquaintances in your contact list.
Yeah.
Okay, so as to you can recall those things with by their names, not by their
Yeah.
numbers.
Yes.
Okay, then comes your web hosting space. So what's a web hosting space? So web hosting space is nothing but uh, you can say the ho- where the home of your website. Okay,
Yeah.
where your website is hosted.
Correct.
Okay, uh, so the major hosting providers out there are GoDaddy. Okay, it can be big hosting. These are not. This is not an exhaustive. Okay, there are huge number of hosting providers out there in the market.
Yeah.
So these hosting providers provide you with the hosting space where you can host your website. Okay, you
Mm-hmm.
can store all the relevant files related to your website. So whenever uh, someone is going to try to access your website, your
Okay.
all the data that is stored at your hosting space, it is from there the data is going to be fetched and displayed on the user side. Okay,
Okay.
then comes your operating systems. So you must be aware of the operate what is an operating system, as
Yeah.
you on daily basis you interact with an operating system, and because of an operating system is there in place, that's why today we are able to go on with this class. Okay, so these types of operating system you will be already aware of: Linux, Windows, FreeBSD. Then comes your server type. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the first thing that one needs to know is that what is the difference between an operating system and a server. So these are like your two different things, two different concepts. Okay, so your
Okay.
server is designed uh, keeping in mind that it is going to be connected to large number of devices. Okay, its whole purpose is to serve n number of requests simultaneously.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but operating system is not designed that way. Your operating system is designed to be a piece of utility for an individual only. Okay, it is designed to run your day-to-day usage applications over it. Okay, on server, uh, n number of users can establish a connection simultaneously. The server can serve n number of requests simultaneously. The server, as companion to your operating system, serves or utilizes a much larger memory chunk as compared to your operating system.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Then comes your web technology. Okay, so what is a web technology? So that is nothing other than your whatever technologies, whatever underlying technologies that are used while creating a web application. Okay, while building a web application, whatever is going to be your underlying technology or whatever is going to be your behind the scenes story, the backend stuff, all of
Uh-huh.
those things on which your web application is based upon is your web technology. Okay,
Okay.
so you remember I showed you that Webalizer extension,
Sorry, what is
Webalizer,
that?
Webalizer. So if I have not shown you, I'll show it to you now.
Okay.
So I can go to some website. So I have to search for Webalizer. Okay, and then I need to look for Webalizer add-on for Mozilla Firefox. Click on it. Click on Add to Firefox. It is going to be added to your browser. And then what this extension is utilized for is whenever you are going to visit any kind of a website during your
Uh-huh.
regular usage, there's going to be a new icon, a new thumbnail that is going to appear in your search bar here,
Uh-huh.
where my cursor is right now.
Okay.
So you can see this vaporizer pop up
Okay.
coming here. So let me click on it. So here you can see the output of this extension. Okay, what this is telling me is the web technologies that I utilize behind the scenes by this web application.
Yeah, the web server is Apache, the programming language is PHP, e-commerce is WooCommerce. Okay, OpenSSL they are using, database is MySQL,
Right.
and they are using the carousel for the images, OVL. They are using WordPress 4.9. Okay.
Okay, so these are all your web technologies that are
Uh-huh.
being used. So this vaporizer extension gives you a very crucial input. Okay,
Yeah.
how this thing is crucial? So let's say here from here I got to know that WordPress 4.9.1 is in use.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
I mean, it gives mostly all the information that website is built on, so the attacker can get more of the information, and it is easy for him to like attack if he found any vulnerability on one, because maybe if they are using, let's say, open SSL, which is not much secured,
Yeah,
so they can use
yeah,
this for their purposes.
yeah, right. So I think I showed you already this. Huh? I showed this to you prior to this.
No, not that. I mean, this is not shown. This is web pleasure. It's not shown. I just showed that.
Okay, I didn't show you a pleasure. So here
No.
I can search for OpenSSL vulnerability, and I already know that there's a heartbleed.
Yeah, heartbeat. I think you have shown me.
Yeah. So heartbleed, when I showed you
One
heartbleed,
of the famous SSL
yeah,
this thing is
uh, right. So I must have shown you this website and this thing. Well, anyways, so you got the idea, right? So I can
there. Yeah.
look for these version specific exploits. I can look for these Apache 2.4.41 exploits
Mhm.
precisely. I can target this website for SQL injection, as I can see that behind the scenes your MySQL database is there that is being utilized. Okay. Then comes your web technology. It can be your HTML, Java. It can be your client side scripting language, your server side scripting languages. Okay, if they are using PHP, ASP, JSP, Python, or HTML or Java, whatever is being used, it is going to be shown to you. Then comes your database. What kind of database is being utilized by the target web application?
Yeah.
Okay, so then comes the concept of your local hosting. Okay, you can host a website that own machine and which is only accessible locally. Okay, that can be
Yeah,
done by
like an
with this.
intranet, over intranet instead of
Yeah,
internet,
right.
like some SharePoint or something for internal office purpose and all.
Yeah. So on your own device, you can access it using your loopback IP address.
Yeah.
Inside a LAN, another devices can access it using your private IP address locally.
Mhm.
Okay. Other than that, this local hosting can be done using your WAMP based utility or XAMPP, LAMP. You would be aware of these kinds of softwares as well. Okay,
Yeah.
they are used to create your local host servers. Okay,
Mhm.
these WAMP and LAMP and XAMPP are nothing but the acronyms for your full stack, the
Mhm.
underlying web technology stack that is going to be used. Okay, so WAMP is for your Windows Apache and LAMP
Yeah.
is for your Linux and Apache.
Linux Apache.
Yeah. So
And XAMPP is for cross-platform.
yeah, it's for cross-platform services.
I think nowadays XAMPP is more used
Right,
cross-platform. Yeah.
right. Just because it is cross-platform.
Yeah, so it can be both mixture of Windows and Linux or any of them.
Right. So then comes your uh, web servers. I have uh, mentioned a graph here.
Mhm.
Let me copy it, paste it here. So what this graph is going to show you is the market share of
Okay.
all the web servers that are used
Mhm.
out there. Okay.
Okay.
So you can see through this graph that previously this your Apache server was of uh, great utility, of great use. It was acquiring much of the larger market share. Okay. but now you can see the green line is the highest. So you got to know that your Nginx servers are much hyped nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay, so why this graph is relevant is because the attacker can decide that which server is being utilized by major population out there, so
Mm-hmm.
as to they can target these servers specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the reason why Windows is exploited more more frequently than Linux. Okay, so because Windows operating system has got a much larger market share in terms of your desktop operating systems as compared to your Linux systems. Okay,
Correct.
that's why day in day out Windows is the one that is targeted. Okay, let's
Yeah.
proceed further.
Yeah.
Where is my VPN? So then comes your OWASP top 10. So are you aware of OWASP top 10?
No.
No. Let me enter my credentials here just.